about valleys. Some people talk about hills. Some people talk about mountains. Some people like to talk about struggles when they preach. But I like to mention pits. Because sometimes we're lower than the valleys. Sometimes we're lower than the hills. Sometimes we're so low that we don't think we'd ever pick ourselves back up. Because I've been there. You know, I heard somebody say one time that they were so low. I was up preaching at a service one day, and somebody got up and said, I've been so low that all I could say was, God help me. Another person got up and said, well, I heard what the woman said, and I've been so low, all I could say was Jesus. And whenever I got up to minister, I looked at him and I said, I heard what both of you two said, but I've been so low that I didn't know how to pray. The man that had faith to move mountains and faith to raise the dead lost every ounce of faith that he had till he didn't know how to pray anymore. But God reached way below the bottom and raised me above the ashes. And I'm here today because God had faith in me, even though I didn't have faith in myself. And I know some of you's been there today. Some of you has been like Jabez. All those names that I mentioned when I first started those broadcasts, and I'm sure I probably got some of them wrong, but all those names I mentioned, as I went down the line, I mentioned every name. Nothing was ever took time to write anything about them but the birthright and who they're born from. But Jabez, there's a great and mighty lot of people that's in the Bible. Has chapters wrote about them, verses wrote about them. But Jabez only has like 2 or 3 short verses. And in those 2 short verses is some powerful sayings that God will enlarge our coast. Nowhere else in the Bible will you read about Jabez. But the writer of that book took time to mention a man who never thought that he was nothing. And people has always told me he was nothing. Was somebody. Was somebody's son. Was somebody in the eyes of God. Was somebody that God could use. And was somebody that had a prayer that God could answer. And you're that somebody today. You're that somebody's son or daughter. You're somebody's miracle. You are somebody that God can use in a miraculous way. And you're somebody that God can answer your prayer, no matter what that may be today. So as much as you're discouraged, as much as people try to put you down, know today that greater is He that's in us than he that's in the world. And we're more than conquerors through Christ Jesus who strengthens us. We don't have to accept no titles people put on us. People will say we're worthless. They say we're no good. They will say we'll never make it. They will say everything that we touch don't amount up to tail beans. They can say anything they want to say about us. But none of that matters. Because God has called us each for a purpose. Each and every one of you may never preach. Each and every one of you may never sing. But you all can do something for God, and that's impact somebody's life today. And if you stand, Jabez probably never preached. He probably never sung. But he still had a testimony that could reach people. Because all of his life, he was told he was born in sorrow. He was born in pain. But God said, I will rise you above that, and I will enlarge your coast. There is nothing impossible today for God. There's no mountain too high, and there's no valley too low that God cannot reach. And there's not one single person out there tonight that God can take and do what He would have to do in our lives.